It's the Jack It Out Podcast episode
21.
21.
It's old enough to drink.
Ooh.
This episode is brought to you by the letter M, as in migraine headache, from drinking too much sangria.
It was Carlo Rossi Sangria.
Sangria don't.
I don't think that works.
Sangria does what Nintendo don't.
You could go Sangria and Sangrino.
Nah, Sangri nah. Sangri nah. Don't pour that in my cup, bro.
Nah, dude.
Nah, dude, don't pour that in my cup.
Don't tag me.
Don't at me.
What possessed you to buy an entire jug of sangria?
It was a miniature jug of sangria.
A miniature jug of sangria.
Yeah. I don't know. Did sangria sound good? Sometimes sangria sounds good.
Why didn't you just make it? You're the master of produce.
Because I was in the liquor store, not the freaking produce aisle of the Price Chopper, alright?
Well, listen, sangria is a premeditated effort to get drunk. You have to spend all day.
No, not me. I just call it my Uncle Carlo Rossi. He just sends me over one of his giant jugs.
Oh, good old Carlo.
And a pizza.
Gives me one of his giant jugs of semi-homemade sangria with no fruit in it. It's just got fruit flavors, natural fruit. It might as well
I'm sure
be.
They're not natural.
It might as well be. It might as well be a bottle of red wine mixed with high C ecto cooler.
Tastes like it. I don't see anything wrong with that though.
You got all the fruits.
These things, and you're making me want to go buy another jug of it.
It's got all the fruit juices you could possibly want. Green, purple, red, and of course, red again.
Red,
and red
extra red, yeah.
Extra red.
That's all the fruits. Red is all the fruits.
Red is fruit punch.
Yeah, it's
as we've been illustrated by Juicy Juice. You just pop the corner of that and you got all the fruits in the fucking rainforest, baby.
Jammed in one can. Where's that carbon footprint at?
Ooh. Call Al Gore. So, why
don't you just keep the top off that so I don't gotta hear you fucking twisting and turning every 5 minutes to drink? Go ahead.
Oh my god. I'm just trying to stay hydrated. It's hard to talk this much because I'm just full of hot air and it dries my throat out. Anyway, last night before you started imbibing heavily on Uncle Carlo's magic serum. What?
I said it wasn't before.
Well, during. Dylan, is that why you got better and better as the night went on?
Yeah.
Was because you were drinking Uncle Carlo's magic gaming serum known as a mini bucket of sangria?
It's funny how that works.
Sipping it through a crazy straw as the jug's on the ground and it's just coming up all the way to your mouth. You just got your gaming headset on. Perfect.
You ever see those pictures of like Jesus helping someone, do something? Well, it's just a picture of me gaming and Carlo Rossi's controlling my thumbs.
Is there a category on art.com where you can buy the prints and it's all just called Jesus helping people do stuff? Is it really Jesus's whole thing helping to help people do stuff?
Yeah, I guess that's his thing.
Jesus' whole thing. I mean, it starts with...
It's kind of been his thing for a while now. Maybe you should switch it up a little bit.
It starts with creating the earth, and then it ends with feeding Dylan sangria through a straw so he could get through that last round of Overwatch. And then moves seamlessly into some Rock Band. Because that's pretty appropriate. The sangria...
Well, it wasn't seamlessly.
Yo, what'd you do to me? You just made me all different weirdness.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. This is just pre-production, post-production, during production.
This is production.
This is production.
What?
Our quite legendary rounds of fucking Overwatch and PUBG. Not legendary based on the fact that we did well or did anything, but just based on the fact that it seems like every time we get together to do this, it's... Andrew made a good point. He was like, I don't know why, but like it's always better when it's like 3 people, when you got the squad together, you're squadding out, everybody crashing, and fucking your computer's dying, it's overheating, everybody's shit's going wrong. Just creates for great content. Remember, we're all focused on content now.
Pivot to content.
Content's under pressure. Getting up. Mark Echo.
That's a
game. Speaking of
games,
last week we left off on a very heavily ignored category, or a large section of our show.
We altered it.
Yeah, we did.
For the listening, we gave him the swerve.
Swerve.
Now we're swerving back.
We're going to swerve
course
back.
correcting.
Although, before we do that...
Don't point your goddamn pen at me.
Before we do that, I think it would be wise for me to shed some light on an oft-forgotten classic that's been remade, that I had saw for the first time in a very long time on Halloween. We went over to... oh, hello.
What?
I literally, when you said it sounded like there was somebody in the back of the room saying it to me, like in the corner.
Don't worry about the audio.
It's it, isn't it? You watched it. All right, shut up, person in the corner.
Maybe there's the ghost behind you.
Yeah, that's true.
You can't see him. He keeps staring at me.
Anyway.
Continue.
Halloween. The freaks and frights and haunts of Halloween.
Did you watch Halloween?
No. In fact, I probably watched the thing that nobody watches on Halloween, or nobody ever has in history.
Fried green tomatoes.
That is all... What's farther than left field? The parking lot?
Just tell me. Obviously, I'm not even...
I had the distinct pleasure of watching the 1979 classic Mad Max. Not Beyond Thunderdome, not Road Warrior, just Mad Max. And it's awful. Wow. What a really not even very good movie at all. Regardless of year. It laid the groundwork for a series of movies that later inspired an unbelievably fantastic movie, and I didn't quite understand how, based on this first one. I will admittedly, I have never seen Road Warrior or Beyond Thunderdome. I've literally
the only one I've ever seen is Fury Road.
Oh yeah, which is the good one. And I don't really, maybe Beyond Thunderdome was good. To be honest, Thunderdome started to head into the post-apocalyptic territory that we find ourselves in during Fury Road anyway.
Oh, I thought you were talking about current day.
Yeah, that led us into the post-apocalyptic nightmare that we're all currently living in the world right now. Right now.
It's funny how life imitates art.
Yeah. Life imitates art. I
got all the snappy catchphrases today.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like a fucking talk box. I should have just recorded this all last night and I could have just sat here and clicked a bunch of them while you just talked to a fucking machine.
A soundboard. I talked to the Dylan soundboard. Right, you are.
Zing zang, flippity flang. You know, that popular one.
Typical sidekick shit. Real bad movie. And the reason why it is because not because I was drunk. That's aside from that. But I will say that typically and most people would probably agree with me, is that when you watch a terrible movie drunk, you're probably gonna like it more, right?
No, I think it's more if you watch it while drinking and basically you're just shouting at the screen the whole time. That's what makes it fun. If you're just drunk watching a movie, it's still a bad movie.
That's what we did. Everybody sat around, make fun of it thing. So that was good in that respect, but at the same time, I kind of wanted it to be good, but I wanted to be pulled into it. I wanted to find it engaging in any way beyond like riff tracks or Mystery Science Theater, but I basically Mystery Science Theater it the whole time.
So you were left wanting.
Yeah, badly, because it was like I would have thought that it would have been this cool, gritty, like older 80s thing that, you know, what's weird is that the current generation is doing 80s movies better than they were 30 years ago. Like, when you go back and watch a movie that's bordering, I mean, this is 1979. It's not the 80s, but it might as well be there. There's a lot of leather jackets in the movie. Don't let them kid you. This is pretty much the 80s. And
I mean, you could get the same out of a Judas Priest music video, and that's only 4 minutes.
Listen,
and it's
Turbo Lover. Turbo Lover is a far better movie than the original Mad Max. I'll bet money on it. I'll stake my reputation on the fact that the video for Turbo Lover runtime of 4 minutes is better than Mad Max runtime 97 minutes.
And you could take that to the bank.
Hi-oh! Put that on the soundboard. Eventually, we're going to get to that Roger Ebert level thing where you can I just set up a machine learning box that I just talked to that has a facial animation on it, and that's Dylan.
I'll just print my face out and just stick it to the front of it.
It's just like an Arduino like motor that just opens your mouth when it talks. So yeah, I really wanted to like Mad Max. I was aghast at how bad it was.
80s style movie was The Babysitter. Did you catch that on Netflix?
No, but I'd heard a lot about it. That's kind of,
it's not like set in the 80s, but
they're giving you that feeling.
It's just the style of it, the way it's shot and the lighting and everything. It's like real dark, and
it's funny.
It's a pretty good movie.
It's funny how all of this is coming out. That it's all happening now. Because the 80s revival thing could have happened. I mean, it could happen 10 years ago. It could happen 10 years from now. It could happen 20 years from now. Right now is where everything's 80s again. We end up with Stranger Things emulating Stephen King, and then we end up with It emulating Stranger Things. What the fuck is happening?
Well, it's emulating It.
It's emulating It, but in a way that's referencing a thing that's referencing another thing.
Oh, I didn't see the new It, so I can't really.
I mean, everybody that saw it was like, not only do we have a kid from Stranger Things in it, but it's also creating an aesthetic that's already making fun of itself, or it's not making fun of itself, it's referencing itself. It's just like, it's just weird that it all comes full circle.
It's an homage to itself, basically.
They're making a more 80s movie than they did in the 80s from a movie that referenced the 1960s or 50s.
50s, I think. Probably.
Yeah, the original one was referencing the 1950s, and then of course this modern updated one is referencing the 80s, which was actually kind of clever. I mean, they weren't doing it. They were kind of doing it on purpose because the first movie referenced a thing that was over 30 years, a decade, 30 years in the past. And then this movie is referencing a decade that's almost 30 years in the past.
30 years in the past.
30 years in the past.
In the past.
The past is the past, Dylan.
Link to the past. The link.
So... And not only that, but video games are doing that too. Video games are referencing 80s stuff too, starting with, Far Cry Blood Dragon.
Dude, that came out like 10 years ago.
It was not 10 years ago.
Yes, it was. That was like the Far Cry 3 spin-off. Since that game came out, Far Cry 4 came out.
I thought it came out like a year or two later, though. I thought it was like
is coming out. Yeah, and
at any rate,
Far Cry 3 came out in like 2008-ish. Right. I had to guess, which is like 10 years ago, Brent.
Well, then Far Cry Blood Dragon came out after that. So it's a little bit whatever. Anyway, It's referencing the 80s. During this time,
a little too heavy.
During this 2000s era that we're living in currently, there's been a lot of references to 80s stuff. I mean, The Weeknd. The Weeknd is a walking 80s reference.
Okay, I guess it was 4 years ago.
Ah, see?
Well, they shit those games out real quick.
They shit them out. I thought they were pretty decent games.
Yeah, but I mean, Far Cry 5's coming. I was just trying to think of the Far Cry 5's coming out in a couple months at this point. It's coming out in like February.
What are they doing with this one?
It's set in America.
Native American?
No, not Native American. It's
Old West.
It's like crazy church people.
Oh,
it's basically Red State, the game.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, that's kind of unique.
This town is like basically a compound for this church, crazy church people.
So it's kind of like a Jim Jones, like Jonestown type situation.
Where they kind of run the town,
right?
And they don't let anyone leave, and you got to follow.
A la The Village.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be just a real think piece. I'm sure.
A real think
knowing
piece.
Ubisoft and the Far Cry franchise, I'm sure it'll just be a great think piece. Get you real thinking about stuff.
Did you watch the Sony Paris conference?
Yeah.
Anything in there anything in there that gave you a little tingle? To put a little tingle in your nethers or anything like that?
I don't know. Yeah, all of it I want to play. The fuck?
What do you think this is?
What are you setting me up or something? If it's a video game, I'm gonna play it, Brent.
It's true. It is,
and then I'll decide if it's shit or not from there.
Right. You have it. You do it in reverse. You're basically a game journalist whom nobody listens to but me.
And even you don't listen to me. Brian, you should probably really get this. It's real good. Yeah.
I'm too busy with the Steam sale buying $1.50 games that I'll never play.
Hey, Brent. Okay, Wolfenstein is on sale for $20 right now. Buy it. Yeah. I really want to play that game. Yeah.
I kind of do. I mean, what's troubling though is that I feel like I'm doing myself I'm not doing myself a favor by not completing Doom and then just moving on to Wolfenstein, because I know what's going to happen. I'm going to get halfway through Wolfenstein and then I'm just going to not play that anymore.
I think the story will tuck you through Wolfenstein more than Doom would tuck you to the end of it.
Yeah, maybe. It's kind of a largely linear.
Yeah.
More really based on the storytelling. Whereas Doom is pretty much
it's a pretty cool story.
It's a cool story, but it's told in a way that kind of makes you. It's not told as you're going. It's kind of just told in like little sections that you sort of have to. Yeah.
And they're basically telling you the whole thing, like.
Yeah.
This robot opened up a portal to hell, back up to hell, because they want to power Earth. And they found a portal to hell on Mars. Yeah,
it is a great idea.
You get that real up front. You get the idea, and then it just kind of fleshes out towards the as the game goes on. But Wolfenstein is story beat.
Yeah, it kind of more follows the Fallout 4 aesthetic of the whole thing, where you're. It's
not like what if the Nazis won? Go.
Yeah. Right. I saw a little bit of the gameplay of it. That's why I was kind of like, I feel like this would be a great game.
It's a perfect time to get into it. There's fucking 3 games for you to play at this point of Wolfenstein.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's great
there's way more games of Wolfenstein if you want to play Wolfenstein. But there's 3 current games that you could play.
Yeah.
You can go on Steam right now and probably buy every Wolfenstein game and be playing Wolfenstein for the rest of your life.
Yeah. That's what I want.
Yeah, I want to play. I got a platinum fucking Return to Castle Wolfenstein.
I'm going platinum. That's right, combo breaker. Um. So there was another thing. Let's
How
see
did we
from
get talking
last
about
week.
Wolfenstein?
Huh?
How'd that game come up? Oh, Paris Games Week. Oh, well, did you see
Yes.
anything that tickled your fancy? There's some more question. I'm not gonna
Um.
just torpedo that whole topic. That's a pretty big topic that could be talked about. Obviously,
I.
since you brought it up, you have something to say about it.
Wow, we're breaking up here, baby.
Don't worry about it.
So I'm breaking up with you.
This is over. This isn't working anymore.
So Paris, I
Yeah,
actually
it's
was
in
more in.
France.
Whoa, hello. What'd you say now?
It's in France.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Wow. Fantastic news.
I don't know if that changes anything, any of your thoughts about it, but it is in
Mm-hmm.
France.
It definitely does. I hate all of it now.
Okay. All right. Next topic. No, you torpedoed it. Or go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I liked all the PSVR stuff, actually.
Or did you?
Yeah, I kind of started to think like if I can't get into, if there's no way to break into with the current pricing of everything and my capabilities, because I didn't really purposely build a machine that would have been for whole room anyway. So, I kind of was like, man, if PSVR comes down a little bit during the holidays, maybe I'll just go for a full.
It came down already as much as it's going to.
We know that for sure.
Yeah, they already did. They already did a price drop on it.
Well, at any rate, I kind of considered it just because it felt like it seemed like there's some cool titles coming out. They're doing a little bit more with it. There's the is Doom VFR going to come out for PS4?
I want to say a yes. I don't,
because that's another like holy shit type of moment there too with VR in terms of all of that. And I might just make the move like this coming.
What? I want to say no.
Oh, okay.
Not even for Pro? Not announced. I don't think it's announced.
Okay.
As coming out. I think the only one from Bethesda, because there was 3 from Bethesda, was Doom, Skyrim, and Fallout 4 they were doing in VR. And I want to say only Skyrim was specifically announced as a PlayStation coming out on the PSVR. Don't quote me on that. Don't at me.
But
I'm pretty sure
I feel like I like the idea of it, and I might, when Black Friday comes around, see if there's like because a lot of times Dell does those deals where you buy a big ass 4K TV and it comes with a PS4 Pro or something like that, or even Best Buy will do those.
Yeah.
See if there's some way that I can just make the full switch one swoop and just
you don't need the Pro for VR.
Well, no, but I kind of wanted to just get the Pro if I was going to get a 4K TV anyway. And then, or just trade in. I mean, I could go the other route and I could just trade in the PS4 at GameStop for a Pro and then just go find a good deal on a TV. That'd probably actually be the better way to go. And then I'd save a little bit of money on the Pro, and
you don't end up with a PS4 and a PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
You don't really have 2 TVs to.
I like the TV that I have now, but it's got some issues. I mean, it was so cheap when I bought it. It was $300 for a 50-inch 1080p TV. That was just a dumb TV. I don't want any smart TVs. So that is, I mean, it's probably going to be hard pressed to find something that's not a smart TV.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But I mean, I could just ignore the smart features and just use inputs and use the stuff that I want to use or whatever. But if I feel like it's time. I feel like we're right on the cusp of it. There's more and more content coming out that is going to be good for it. I really want to watch. It's almost to the point where I'm going to watch it. I'm going to buy a TV to watch Planet Earth. It's going to happen. I'm gonna be online, and I'm
That's your
gonna be like,
problem
it's
that's your problem with the PS4 Pro is that it doesn't have UHD Blu-ray playback. You need the Xbox One S or the X for that.
hmm. Well, then I'd probably just have to get a digital copy of it. Then, if I'm gonna do Planet Earth, I'd have to
Yeah, I
buy the
guess.
4K UHD shit. I mean, it's available
Yeah, I mean,
on most
there's
platforms.
you could probably stream it. I'm sure.
Uh,
I'm just saying like don't buy the PS4 Pro expecting to play the 4K Blu-rays because you
that's
can't.
crazy that's not included. I literally had no idea. So basically, the only benefit is just for the gaming side of it. You're not going to be playing ultra. Wow, that's
Well,
crazy.
you could. Well, it has HDMI 2.0 on it, which the other PlayStations don't have it, so you can't even stream Netflix in 4K without the Pro. The Slim doesn't have HDMI 2.0. HDMI 2.0 outputs a 4K signal, so you won't if you have even if you have the 4K Netflix like the upgraded Netflix that does the HDR in 4K. I take that back. I think you could do it on the PS4 Slim. I think you can because
But if I got a PS4 Pro and I wanted to stream 4K Netflix on it, that's going to be good out of the box.
yeah, that'll be good out of the box. Yeah,
Okay.
I think you could do it on yours now that I think about it because they did like the HDR update for all systems, and I'm pretty sure HDR is only on the HDMI 2.0. I'm out of my element right now. All right.
My point is to bring this back around is I'm kind of ready for HD content or for 4K content. There's a good amount of it, and there's a few things that I really want to watch, and I think that it's going to continue to head in that direction,
Yeah.
especially with
And
stuff
you want to
like
play Horizon Zero Dawn in 4K because boy howdy, that's a beautiful game.
yeah, I could very well imagine. I mean, then there's
I mean, it's a beautiful game on a regular PS4.
what else is what else is worthwhile like as far as what's had like a 4K update or if is for natively 4K supported that's out there right now that's really awesome to play for that because I don't really know.
I don't really know either. It's just I mean, everything I play, it's just gonna be. It's not like I'm comparing side by side to
Yeah.
tell the difference of something. Like if something looks good, it's just gonna look good out of the box for me.
Well, I'm
I would
saying
have
that
never have seen it like without without the update. You know what I'm saying?
right, but I don't even know what games have it and what games don't. Like if I were to pop
There's a list out there.
I would just have never seen like a thing where I'm looking like if I go into let's see, it's different because they didn't make a console with a completely different media attached to it. They just said we're going to do the PS4 Pro. It's going to be 4K, and some of the games you have are going to be upsampled to 4K. Some of the games you have are going to be natively supported. Games that are going to come out in the future are going to have it.
Most of it's up super sampled.
Right.
They do checkerboarding. I'm not. Only a select few run at native 4K, and they're like the indie games. I think Resogun runs at 4K.
Right.
Like, you're not gonna get
60 frames per second because it's a game that's relatively.
well, it's got to be locked at 60, yeah. But you're not gonna get native 4K on like a Horizon. It's all super sample checkerboard.
But it still looks
technology.
unbelievable. Anything you're gonna play
yeah.
on it is gonna look unreal because it's out. It's because it's just higher pixel density. Yeah,
but there's like a lot of games offer it'll be like a setting in the options. So like a PC, you set stuff to like ultra and shit. So this will give you an option to either like put it on performance mode or theater mode. A lot of the times performance mode is like 1080 locked 1080 to 60.
Mm-hmm.
They'll give you 1080 60 30 the theater mode will usually give you 4K 30.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much how they do it.
Okay.
It depends on what game it is and how it supports it.
Well, then is it? I mean, are we in an era where? I mean, you have it. You have a 4K TV and you have a PS4 Pro. Do you see like a change in the way you see games, or like does it seem like you're there? Are you living in the future?
No.
Right. So that's why I feel
Because
like
I
I'm
don't
holding
care
out for
about
something that's not.
Yeah, I don't really care
important.
about how it looks as long as it plays good. Now, if it's a fun game and it looks real good, I'll tell you it looks real good. I could see that it looks good. I'm not blind to that. I could see when textures are like choppy or just like it looks like a flat texture, like when you're not getting good textures out of games, or if the frame rate skips, if you drop some frames, you could clearly see that. But yeah, like I don't give a shit about how it looks, and it's just how it feels and how it plays.
I mean, I'm just running. I'm playing Forza Horizon 3, and I'm just running it at 1080 high, and it looks like a real good PS4 game. Just regular, like it's got a good visual style and look to it. It's a very stylish game. And
that also came out like
a couple of years
last
ago.
year. Yeah, 2 years. Last year it came out, I think.
Did it?
Yeah. But now,
really...
if you were to get yourself an Xbox One X, I'm saying here, not S, X, the new one, and put Forza 7 in it on a 4K TV, you'd be able to, you could see it.
Yeah, it's gonna look unlike anything that's ever...
that console can run a lot more stuff native 4K than the PS4 Pro can. If the companies want to do the work for it. But also, you end up with an Xbox One X, and you got no games to play on it.
It's when sometimes when you're locked into an ecosystem, you're really locked into it. Especially when it comes to like as much money as you put into something. It's like with a phone, you could just go get a new phone that's in a completely different ecosystem, and you're not in $1 million on things that you bought for it and shit that you do with it. It's like I just transferred my contacts over to Android, and that's where I'm at now. It's like you can do anything you want. But with this type of thing, it's like, the day I went in, or the day I ordered a PS4 is the day that I'm locked into this ecosystem. Yeah.
But when you upgrade, if you upgrade to a PS4 Pro, you have the games already. You have the online service that you pay for with all the free games that you already have.
Yep.
They're starting to put PSVR games on the gold membership games, free games.
Oh, cool! So they're going to start rolling out ones every month that are going to be.
I don't know about every month.
PSVR. Yeah,
I know this month is the Until Dawn Rush of Blood, the roller coaster on rail shooter, like a fun house and whatever.
That'd be fun to play.
So now you start getting these games, and you're already thinking about getting a PSVR.
Yeah.
So instead of getting, say, an Oculus, where once you get the Oculus, you got to drop more money to get the games to play on the Oculus. Now you already have this library of games built up. So you're already in this ecosystem, and this is just an upgrade on that ecosystem.
How much is the PlayStation VR right now? What did it come down to?
I want to say it is $400, and that's the headset, the camera, and the Move controllers. I think you get everything. I think everything's $400. Like,
that's so cool.
Now, if you were to get it, you gotta make sure you get the new SKU. Especially if you wanted to get a PS4 Pro at any point in your time, any point, because when they originally came out with it, the little breakout box that like breaks out the HDMI's didn't have pass through for HDR. So if you wanted like HDR, you'd have to unplug it from the breakout box and then plug it like straight into your TV. But they updated the headset. They put like, you know how that my Oculus has the little headphones on the side there.
Yeah.
They put like earbuds, I think, that connect right to the headset, so you don't need extra headphones. And I think they just kind of made it a little form fitting. They did it like a couple like quality of life upgrades, but also the breakout box they have now has pass through for HDR, so you don't have to, if you want all the features of your PS4 Pro that you just got,
right,
you don't have to fumble around with wires every time you plug in the VR. Riveting stuff.
It really is.
I sound like I'm at a fucking Best Buy trying to sell you a goddamn...
Jesus Christ. I felt like I was in just like a techno tunnel there for a second where I was just like, yeah, and then what?
And then what?
And then what?
I want HDR. I want HDR.
I don't even know what the fuck that means. High definition fucking...
High dynamic range.
High...
It makes your colors pop. Your blacks are real black and your...
Oh...
Yeah, I entertained the idea of getting an Xbox One X. I'm like, man, it's 4K or whatever. And then I thought to myself, what would I play on it? And then I saw the screens for the Gears of War is getting that hot.
Oh my God.
It's Gears of War, like the full Gears of War download at this point is over 100 gigs. Just because of all the 4K assets. Yeah, all the 4K assets and everything. And I'm like, I'm not going to go back and play Gears of War 4. I already beat it.
100 gig, like today.
I'm pretty sure Forza 7's over 100 gigs too. Just because you have to download all the download itself. This is the game which is 60 gigs to begin with, plus the 4K assets.
Forza Horizon 3 Basic Nothing Edition for PC, I think I think it was 60 or 55.
Yeah,
I think,
a lot of games
like
are 60. Even the game, like, God. I just installed Nier Automata because I just got that the other day. I haven't played it yet, but I installed it. Like, I'm halfway there. And even that was 49 gigs, and that's not, like, this visual powerhouse. It's just what games are at this point.
I wanted to play Ruiner too, but again, it's another like disgustingly challenging game. Although that seems like I could try to. And it's also got the easy mode too. Yeah. So I can just it might be enjoyable to play from a visual aesthetic perspective and just a decently fun gameplay style.
Make sure you play it with a controller because it is a dual stick shooter, and I can't see. I don't know.
Yeah, I have
I feel like mouse and keyboard makes dual stick shooters not fun. Like if you were to play some sort of dual stick shooter on a mouse and keyboard, I don't think it'd be as fun.
I have I've just been using my PS4 controller on my PC. I was in Best Buy the other day trying to see if I wanted to get an Xbox controller for PC, but it's weird because they say like when you buy, because I don't have Bluetooth, I got to either use like an adapter or some shit for my desktop.
Yeah, well, you got to use an adapter with the Xbox controller also.
That's where I'm saying it's like if you're going to go in and buy like a nice Xbox controller, like the Xbox One controller.
Yeah. Well,
then you're going to also buy the fucking adapter.
I think they have like a combo pack where it's like the adapter and the controller.
Yeah.
For like $70
I knew they made that for almost every, I think they made that for almost every version. To be honest, there's a lot of people that say that like still the best controller for use on a PC is just the original Xbox 360 controller.
Oh yeah, it's almost a standard. Like
if you were to, seems to be the thing that everybody
like if you plug in a controller to games, the Xbox prompts come up.
Proof of this is that when I plugged in my PS4 controller to my PC to play Forza Horizon 3, all of the button prompts are Xbox controller prompts, so I have to remember the X that's on the bottom of the PS4 controller is now on the side.
It's the it's just it's the standard at this point.
It is. It's almost for everything. Now the other controller I have is just like a Logitech wired controller that I had from like way back in the day. It's like F310 like Logitech wired controller.
To play all your fucking stolen ROMs, you goddamn.
That's exactly what I did it. That's what I did it for. That's what I.
Yeah, no kidding. That's what everyone did it for. That's what everyone does it for. I want to get an 8-bit though, so I could just play ROMs. Those controllers are awesome. It's
they
like
look
SNES
really
controller
good
with analog sticks.
Seems like they feel very good. Yeah, I was using that controller, and that acts just like an Xbox controller too. But they can't even license that. So they basically just come up with the controls and sort of map them out similarly, and then that's the Xbox controller essentially. Yeah, you basically
I remember
use it for everything.
I remember using the Xbox controller on PC like forever since I had.
Oh yeah,
the 360 because I
perfect.
had the I had like the original wireless receiver. It's like the little puck that has like the real long cord. Now it literally it looks like a freaking
looks like
a thumb drive.
Like a Roku
that's
stick.
It right there.
Yeah. I really like. I think probably the Xbox controllers past 360 are the greatest controllers that any company has ever produced. PS4 has had a very good controller for a long time, and it hasn't changed much. But holy shit!
Yeah, the offset analog sticks is what does it. I think that's what makes it more comfortable than the
I think that's a
the
big
sticks
deal.
right next to each other.
And also the way that they built the PS4 controllers, or any PS1 and forward, it's kind of they're kind of small. Most human hands are much bigger than like what they've designed.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, in the way that it all comes around, in the way I don't know, they put a lot of thought into it. It seems like, ergonomically speaking,
they're not Switch controllers.
Them shits is small.
I hate the analog sticks. I fucking hate the analog sticks on the Switch. They're like one step up from the PSP nub. That's what I feel like at this point.
Wow.
They have no resistance to them when you're playing.
Right. It seems like you're like the other example of that is that that old controller that I threw through the wall that I had for PS2 or PS3, PS2.
Yeah.
The analog sticks in that had no resistance either. They were so short and they were so small, and they just went woo wee wee wee. They like. I mean, it was good for the games I was playing, but not necessarily good for everything.
Yeah, like Doom's coming out for Switch. I couldn't imagine playing with those sticks.
Oh my god,
couldn't imagine it.
Ugh.
I mean, they have the Pro controller, which is basically just a 360 controller, but that's also $70. So I gotta pay $70 to be comfortable.
It is fucking. See, that's the thing, is that like.
Well, it's gotta have the NFC reader in it, so I can scan my amiibos.
What is this appeal that I keep imposing on this machine that I need to have?
The games are great.
Yeah, I know.
I tell you to buy a Switch over upgrading to a PS4 Pro. To be honest.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it does make sense from the perspective of.
I tell you to get a Switch and a 4K Fire Stick.
Yeah. Or a Chromecast Ultra. That'd probably be what I go with the next round. It's just crazy that there's so much about it that people ignore because of the fact that you're basically buying into a catalog. You're buying into a very artfully designed catalog of very artfully designed games.
Well, I mean, yeah, now you can say you're buying into a catalog, but when it first came out, even then you couldn't say. It's like, well, I'm buying in and hoping that there's a catalog, because they only had like 4 games announced. I think like 4 games came out with the system.
It's so crazy because that's a bit. I mean, it's not a big investment. It's not a traditional console investment.
It's still $300.
It is, and then also, why would you even just buy the system at $300? The first section of bundles that are going to come out, people are going to buy the bundle. If it's out, then it comes with a game. You want it to come with something. You're going to spend the $470 or whatever dollars it is.
That's the thing of like with a PS4, like you could say, yeah, it's not that expensive of an investment, but when it came out, the PS4 and Xbox had already done a price drop, so they're already at $250, so they're already cheaper than the Switches at the time of the Switch release. I'm not saying that like they were cheaper when they came out, but you go to a store, you could pay less money for these consoles
that have a huge library,
established consoles, or you could put your, because Nintendo never screws anything up, the Wii U. So you invest in something and pray to God that they don't take a shit all over your chest, which they haven't. To be fair, Super Mario Odyssey is the greatest game I've ever played.
I every time I watch someone play it or I see any coverage on it, I'm just like, oh my God, they've created the ultimate Mario game. It's literally the ultimate current generation Mario game.
I knew it was perfect. I'm gonna give you some. Do you mind if I spoil it for you a little bit?
Please.
Okay, so spoilers. After you fight Bowser, you end up at the Mushroom Kingdom, and it looks just like Super Mario 64. Like the Mushroom King, the small world. Because each kingdom's like a small world basically.
Right.
So you look at it, and Peach's castle's right in front of you. You run into Peach's castle. You take because there's power moon. You know the idea. There's moons everywhere basically.
Yeah.
Like you get a moon for either like doing a butt stomp on this little bump in the ground. You can get a moon, or it could go as hard as like this moon's in a hole in a cavern, and you got to do this platforming challenge to get to it.
Right.
So it's like there's moons everywhere. I had to test it. I had to see. Because I've played Super Mario 64. What would you do when you walked the first thing you do when you walk into the castle?
Well, what I used to do, the first thing that I would do is I went up the stairs to the big door, and then I don't think that ever opened, right? Or did
no,
the big
I'm
door
talking
open?
about a secret in the castle.
Oh, the stairs. The infinite stairs? That's one.
No. Okay, I'll just tell you.
Yeah.
You know the flying cap? You know how to get to the flying cap?
Yes.
How do you get to the flying cap?
Isn't that through the no, not the tiny picture, is it?
No. Okay. So you stand on the sun in the middle of the room, you look up.
Oh, you look up. Yeah.
So I had to see. So I stand on the sun in the middle, took control of it, look up, a moon pops out. I'm like, oh, they did it. They perfected it. Here it is. Game over.
Yep. Yeah, that's
also the end of that game rivals the Halo. No, doesn't rival it. It has now beaten it in my book for
callbacks.
Not callbacks, but the Halo 3 Warthog run.
Yeah.
You remember how like action packed and like awesome that was, flying out of the Pillar of Autumn as it was exploding. Yeah, this it beats it, but not by a lot. But like for end of game.
Yeah.
It's pretty sick. Sick. So I did beat that, by the way.
You beat it? Did you do a full 100?
I beat it.
Oh, you beat it.
I still gotta go back. The credits rolled.
Credits rolled. That's important.
That's, yeah. You know, there's like 908 moons or something like that. I don't have that many. I have over 200 at this point, but...
900 moons, dude. That's insane. I mean, that's collection. That's collecting on a level of like the original Banjo-Kazooie. Like,
yeah, but you want to collect them.
Oh yeah, you do. You definitely do. The world makes you want to do it. There's no question about it. That's why Banjo-Kazooie was so successful, because the world makes you want to find everyone.
Yeah, I have over 200, and it doesn't feel like I was actively fucking bashing my head into this game trying to find them, or like feel like I can't do it. I can't find these moons. Like, they're there.
How do you predominantly? This is another question that I constantly wonder about this machine is how do you predominantly play it?
Handheld.
So you're playing it on handheld most of the time.
Yeah, I usually just lay down and play it.
Okay,
it's easy just to lay down and just play it in front of you. Like, I've played it on my TV sometimes, but
right.
don't find it necessary.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I guess
I did play Mario on the screen because I mean sometimes you like to see. You want to see this. You want to see this. Yeah. It's a beautiful world. You want to see it blown out to its like max size, even if it's at a max of fucking 900p or whatever. As we're talking about fucking 4K games and.
Is that really what it is? Is 900p is the max out?
It might be 1080. I don't think that it's 1080 though.
Yeah. Wow. It's just remarkable that Nintendo is still living in a world where they don't think that people might give at least a little bit of a shit about like just something current. Like,
well, they have the games to back it up. Why would I get? Also, their games look great. Like you can't tell that they're perfectly crafted to
utilize the resolution that they're
at that resolution. Like,
yeah.
If you put in 2K18 in there, it's gonna look like garbage because it wasn't it was crafted to be this like run on this full blown thing, and then they had to take this out, take that out.
That's why it's like, how the hell
make this hardwood floor look like Mega Blocks or something?
Just how is Doom gonna run on this?
I don't know.
Like, and what is it gonna look like? Like, I just can't imagine a thing that you're carrying around with you that's supposed to be this frantic, incredibly detailed 60 frames per second game that's like constantly like moving, and I just don't know how you're not gonna it's not gonna look like trash.
It's gonna be a test to Bethesda because they were with Nintendo from the jump.
Right.
Like the Skyrim was in the original reveal trailer of the Switch when they're like on the rooftop party or whatever, like that famous trailer of who's gonna take this shit to a rooftop party. Probably more people than you
guys.
think.
Hey, fellow kids, would you like to see how you would use the Switch at one of your fancy parties?
Bethesda was with them from the jump. The more surprise is that they were probably, I mean, I guess they must have been working on Doom alongside Skyrim.
Right.
It might have just been easier to port Doom than it was to port Skyrim.
Yeah.
Because Skyrim isn't even out yet. I think it has a launch date. I think it's coming out December, I want to say, for the Switch. Yeah, but Doom comes out next week at this point.
How did they do that?
So, yeah, either maybe they were working on Skyrim and they just figured out how to do it, and they're like, we could do this with Doom, too. We can do the same downscaling and stuff that we're doing, and probably Doom's way easier because it's level-based. It's not like a giant open world.
Right, because the open worlds are really, I mean, you're thinking about, well, that's the other thing is that, Jesus Christ, Zelda, that game is so expansive and so incredibly dense, and it's like dense and expansive at the same time. And that's just amazing that exists on a console like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's just,
you can take
really is.
It's so giant and dense and everything, and you can take it with you.
That's the thing is that, like, I want to see people out in the world. I want to see people when I'm walking around, fucking around on their Switch. Take it on the plane with me. Maybe I'll do it. Christmas, it's either going to be PSVR and a 4K TV or a goddamn Switch.
Christmas is coming early this year, and it only because he hasn't got something in a while. He swears it never happens.
The way that I kind of dictate Christmas for myself is typically like around Christmas time. It's like, I deserve something.
I'm the king of my own domain. I'm gonna buy myself a Switch.
I'm not 13. Nobody's gonna buy me my consoles anymore. I'm not fucking an infant. I just go out and buy the shit that I wanted to do. I make money, and I do things, and I do my job. If I fucking want to get on the plane to go be a big businessman fucking somewhere around the country, and I'm going to play fucking Odyssey on the plane. And everybody, like the commercial, they're going to be gathering around me. They're going to be like, what's he playing? And they're going to be like, here, take a Joy-Con. Let's play Splatoon.
Splatoon's good. Like, all these games that have come out before Odyssey were good, but like
Odyssey's clearly
Odyssey is the you should go buy one. Brent, I'm telling you right now, you should buy a Switch to play this game, and then go back and play the other games because they are just as good. Well, they are on the same level.
Yeah. I haven't played. I think the last Zelda game that I played was probably Twilight Princess, and I didn't finish it. I basically got rid of the Wii, got rid of my original Wii before I even. I think that's what maybe came with it, or my mom got it for me for Christmas one year.
I mean, it was a launch title with it for the Wii. I think everyone that bought a Wii at launch pretty much bought Twilight Princess with it.
It came with Wii Sports too, though. Also,
and that was the one where everyone was like, "Grandma's, mom's, dad's included. We all got to get this." I love bowling.
Wii Sports has to be.
Wii Sports sold more consoles than Zelda did.
Yeah, it's 10 to 1. 10 to 1. It's literally one of the. It's kind of like how you can say that that shitty U2 album that was on all the iPhones was like one of the highest selling albums of all time. It's like Wii Sports has to be one of the highest selling console titles ever of all time because of the fact that we literally the two highest selling consoles for Nintendo adjusted, over time. I think I saw a graph of this the other day. It was the Wii and the DS. Like those are the
the Wii sold like 120 million.
Oh my god!
Because people were literally buying it just to play Wii Sports. I guarantee there. Excuse me. There's Wii's out there that know that the only game that has been put into it is Wii Sports.
The funny thing about that is that if somebody could have come up with something like one of the major developers or one of maybe it was like a hardware company like Sega, or if Sega got back into hardware, they could have come up with just something that does this, that's like a motion control thing, and done it reasonably well. And it's just this thing that you buy in the store for $50. It's like a motion game that's got all the Wii Sports type shit on it, and people would have loved it.
Again, just because it has the Nintendo polish to it.
Yeah,
because there was 1,000 other shovelware games that tried to use the gimmick and just wasn't as like captivating as.
It's so crazy, like how many of those games, if you go to Big Lots right now, you hit the fucking $5 bin, how many redneck fucking carnival
games for the Wii.
Oh my god. How many
Cabarella's Big Buck Hunter for the Wii.
People still love that shit. Every once in a while.
And right next to, Big Buck Hunter is pretty fun. That's a fun bar game. All right, I'm not dissing it. I'm just saying. But how many times and right next to those games, you see the plastic tennis racket that you shoved your Wiimote in?
Mm-hmm.
The only piece of plastic that I had that I could shove my Wiimote in was the the Guitar Hero 3 guitar. I had it for the Wii, and the way it worked was you put the Wiimote inside the guitar, and that's what controlled it.
I had the Resident Evil
Umbrella Chronicles? No.
Yes.
Was that what it was, right? Umbrella Chronicles?
Mm-hmm. I had the Umbrella Chronicles set, which was the game, a special edition gun controller that was like orange and white, and then which was fun. I mean, that's the thing, is that some of these rail shooter type things you could get.
Rail shooter's always fun. That's why there's 1,000 of them in arcades. When you go to any arcade, there's gonna be a rail shooter in there because they're fun. Oh, yeah. It's fun to aim at a gun and shoot. This is America, goddammit.
And
I want to shoot a gun.
The fun part about that was that it actually, the tracking is right on par with arcade tracking. It's the same technology. So when you're doing it at home, you're getting the same level of responsiveness. that you're getting when you're in the arcade. So the Wii was the perfect machine to do these kind of things, was to play these awesome rail shooters and shit. And it doesn't matter if the graphics are bad. They're not supposed to be that great. The Resident Evil one looked very good. It ran very smooth. Ran at 720. There's nothing wrong with that.
Didn't run at 720. We had component out. Actually, it might have ran at 720 if you got the HDMI splitter.
I thought that was the 720 system.
At any rate, it doesn't matter. It could push. I think it could push 720, but
you needed something special.
Yeah, because it came with your basic component.
Yeah,
and
it still was great. You
had to buy the blue green red split like component cables. Those were like the HD component cables.
I kind of want to just buy somebody's soft modded Wii off of fucking eBay and just put a bunch of fucking games on it. Huh?
I was looking at Wii U's the other day.
Like
I want to go back and play some of those games I missed on it, like Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, Bayonetta 2, Yoshi's Woolly World. Like there was some games for it, but like when I don't buy a console, you know something's wrong.
Oh,
because
yeah.
I have every console since probably the Super Nintendo.
I've
purchased I've had every console in my possession at some point in time.
One of my coworkers bought the Wii U when it came out, and I went over and we played Mario Kart. I think Mario Kart pretty much if you put Mario Kart on a console, the console could literally be a one-button controller that's made out of cow shit, and people will come over to your house to play Mario Kart. No matter they could literally have to make their own.
That's why they re-released it on the Switch.
They could make a joystick out of a toilet paper roll and some string.
It's funny.
Somebody's gonna use that shit to play some Mario Kart.
It's funny you bring up Mario Kart because I literally almost bought a Wii U because of Mario Kart.
Just for that. Yeah.
They had the Mario Kart 8 bundle. I looked at it so many times. I was on the cusp so many times, and I never pulled the trigger. But it was because of Mario Kart.
It's a game that, again,
and I waited long enough, and I got it now. I got the same exact game, and I got all the DLC. Mario Kart Deluxe, baby.
It proves that Nintendo as a software company is stronger than Nintendo as a hardware company, but they push their hardware, and it's incredible, and everything's great. It doesn't matter.
It's not incredible. What they should do is cut their losses and just partner with PlayStation and release the games on there, and they would be like an insane merger. But that'll never happen because Sony and Nintendo have so much bad blood from the original. The PlayStation was gonna be a Nintendo product. Like the CD based thing. It was going to be like a add-on, I think, for
the Nintendo 64 had it, or they were going to do it. They were going to do this like thing where they basically, the next Nintendo console was going to be this CD based thing.
Yeah.
And then Nintendo tried to do it, and then it didn't work. And I think
the business deal, I think, something went bad with Sony. So they just went back to cartridge-based stuff, and then Sony released the PlayStation. So,
the other thing about Nintendo, I think, is that whatever they do with their hardware is what they do. That's what it is for right now. But the other thing that like everybody always gets like all worked up with them about is that their content distribution is really bad. It still is bad, after all this time.
You watch the blocks fill up. They don't even tell you how big something is. All the blocks used to fill up. That was on the DS. Oh, I'm going to download Mega Man. Oh, it's only 6 blocks. How long is this going to take? I don't know. This fucking Pikmin's dragging the block over.
It's excruciating. It really is. It was so bad.
They have friend codes still. Friend codes are still a thing. Hey, Brent, I want to play Nintendo games with you. What's your friend code? SBG6295. They'll never learn.
Kill me. Fucking kill me.
But they don't need to learn, because I was never going to play Super Mario Odyssey with you online anyways. It was never And if the whole reason they don't make it some like shared world experience games as service is because they can't figure out their network, then I hope they never figure out their network, so I keep getting Mario games like that.
Come on, dude, you don't want me to join your party and play Cappy while you jump around and I fuck up everything?
I don't even want to be on voice chat with you while I'm playing this game by myself.
I get it. Like we've lost, and it's due to hardware restrictions. That's definitely true. But like we've lost a lot of couch co-op. You have to really work hard if you want to play a game at somebody's house. Like,
well, that's why you got the Jackbox Party Pack.
That's great.
You pop that on, and no one even knows how to use. No one needs to know how to use the controller. Everyone knows how to use their phone.
I think if like for me though, it's the thing that I would love to have is like some developers considering the nostalgia of the split screen shooter and creating something that it doesn't have to look like Doom. Nobody's asking you to make a game that's split screen. It's just somebody like maybe a developer makes like a game that kind of looks like High Hell that you can play first person shoot, like just a nice arena shooter where everybody sits their ass down on the couch on the big ass 50-inch TV. Because the irony of the whole thing is when we were in the early 2000s on or late 90s on the CRT monitors or CRT TVs, the biggest TV that anybody had was a 32-inch TV, and that thing was a fucking monstrosity. Like, let's play some split screen GoldenEye. You had a great time because you and all your friends were in the same room. You turn it into an event. Everybody's having a great time doing some split screen shit.
There's that I don't know. You ever see that one game? I think it's called Screen Cheat or something.
Yeah, where everything's a different color.
Well, everything's invisible. You can't.
That's what it was.
You have to screen peek to know where the other person is, and you kind of just shoot at nothing to get the kills. So they're there.
The people are thinking about it, and of course, like there's things that are coming out like Gang Beasts and those little the cutesy little things, Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time.
Yeah, those are like one and done. You're not doing like a full Halo campaign split screen style with those games though. It's just like
I don't know if I want that either. I think what I just really want more is just somebody to consider that maybe there's a point where like
you want all these things, but you don't even have the friends that would come over and play these things at this point in your life. So,
well, I do. You know what it is? Those friends that would come over are probably just going to want to play the old shit anyway. They're probably just going to want to come over and play Mario Kart 64 because it's a really good game. It's got good controls, and everybody knows how to play it essentially because everybody grew up with it.
It's not like they're impossible to play these games. Like
no,
they still exist.
It's easier to play these games now than it's ever been, because of the fact that you can go on one night on a whim, which we've done many, many times before, and just buy a GameCube for $30 and 4 controllers for $10 a piece if you're lucky. Or you already got some controllers laying around like I do. I just got some random-ass GameCube controllers laying around my house. I had a 4-banger and a couple memory cards. It's like, I'm ready to go. I just got to go get the cube portion.
Gotta get the cube.
Just go get the cube.
I don't need a bag. It's got a handle.
Just going to carry it out like a shopping bag. Yeah, so I guess, that part has never died, but I think, I guess I am thinking idyllically about it because nobody's going to come over and play a game that they never heard before or never played before.
Okay, you want to come over and play disc jam shoot fist fairies? No, I don't.
Now, do you have Mario Kart? Yes, I will play that on your big-ass TV. Yes, I will. Okay, well then I'm just going to go buy some fucking Chinese Super Nintendo controllers that hook up via USB, pop them in a nice hub, pop that into my Raspberry Pi, pop that up on the TV, and now we got a fucking party going. And we can play, like, anything. I mean, or SNES Classic or NES Classic, whatever. And they all have the ability.
There's this company called Analog that are doing full hardware I can't even think of the word. They use this certain technique, was it FPGA, I think it's called. And basically it's emulation on a hardware level. So it emulates they have one's out, and then they're coming out with another one. This chip emulates the chipset of a regular, like a NES.
Yeah.
A NES, and you could put NES games in it or Famicom games in it because they're different size carts, and it has HDMI out, and there's like zero latency because it emulates on a hardware level instead of a software level.
Right.
So it's like a new chipset that emulates the hardware.
Wow.
Using hardware.
And so they're going to start doing these for every...
I don't know. Well, they can... At this point, they can only do it for Super Nintendo. I think it's the highest they could go just because of the certain chips and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, the technology's not there. This technology that they use. And they do this so that there's no latency.
Right.
And it outputs the HDMI natively. So that there's no emulation of the signal to push it HDMI, because it's not that whatever signal that uses is not the signal that the original outputs, so you end up with latency in the games, which you don't want when you're playing video games.
Right. So what they're doing is they're creating a chipset that's basically the same thing as what it used to be, but the video output is programmed directly into it rather than changed a million times to make it HD or whatever.
Yeah. So wow. It takes the cart signal and outputs it to HDMI, so you have like this preservation of consoles basically that are living with what the current technology is in screens or whatever.
That's pretty great.
Yeah, the NES one's real expensive. It's like $500. It was the first one that they did.
So they're kind of doing this as it's very much like an archival.
Yeah, it's very much a boutique item but the Super Nintendo is coming out in February. They did a Super Nintendo with HDMI out, and that one's only going to be $200. So you have an HDMI SNES, and it plays all your whatever Super Nintendo cartridge you want to put into it, and the regular controllers work with it.
And it probably looks incredible.
Oh yeah, they're made real nice. I think that's the whole reason the first one was expensive, because they did it with like tempered steel or whatever.
Oh my god!
Machined. It's like hand machined, like each console. Yeah, real cool stuff. You should take a look at it.
I'll look it up.
It's real interesting. Like I can't describe it because I sound like I've studied what the hell they're doing over there, but I've read some things. And
what are you guys doing over there?
what are you doing over here? Just some buzzwords I remember was VGPA or something, and hardware emulation on the hardware side. Yeah, real cool stuff. Take a look. Yeah. Take a look. See.
Damn, dude. I'm fucking tired for some reason.
And my headache went away. That was nice.
Yeah, I like this whole weekend I've been fucking just staying up late, and
I got a new segment.
Oh boy.
It's Dylan's gaming deal of the week.
Oh my god.
It's real topical. If you have PlayStation Plus, Horizon Zero Dawn's like $20. Fucking buy that shit. Buy that shit. It's like some double discount deal going on right now.
Damn.
To be fair, it might be over by the time I even post this, so I'm basically just telling you to go buy Horizon Zero Dawn at this point.
Well, I'll have
also
to,
the Humble
I'll
Bundle.
the Humble
Bundle this month has a game called Flint Hook in it. That game's real fun. And
what
you
is
can
it?
get it at the $6 level. It is a, stay with me, Brent, an indie roguelike.
Mm-hmm.
But so basically you get you're a pirate and you have a grappling hook
Okay.
and a gun.
Yep.
And it's pixel art.
Yeah.
And so you get this bounty, and you basically you need these certain stones that you get from doing runs on these ships or whatever, and each ship has like different descriptions, like Rogue Legacy. You know how if you picked a certain guy, the castle you went to was like based on that. So like sometimes if you were colorblind, it was black and white or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, this kind of tells you like what's on this ship. So if you want, there's like lore pages you can collect. Like that's like a library, whatever. That's like one of the descriptors of the ship. So you go,
Right.
you pick these ships, and there's like a difficulty of it, and you do a run on the ship. Basically, and then however many stones to get the main boss is how many ships you got to go through.
Right.
To find the treasure chest. You basically plundering the stones, and then so that's your run. Your runs are based on what bounty you're getting. So far, I've beaten one boss. So you get the stones, and then when you get the stones needed to find them, you fight the boss, basically.
Okay.
And your health, you only get enough health, and there's like upgrades, just like every other roguelike. There's certain currency that you could buy upgrades at.
That's things that'll
last
persist.
That last you through the whole thing.
Well, that's like Dead Cells.
Dead Cells, yeah, exactly.
Which I love. I've been playing it, and it's a great game. I think it's great because it combines together so much of what I like in a way that I connect. That it's actually, what's funny is that it's actually less challenging than Castlevania Symphony of the Night, which it's not less challenging from fighting an enemy's perspective. It's actually fighting enemies is still pretty hard, and there's sections where, since they're randomly generated, I literally found myself in a horde of 20 flying creatures.
Oh, that's fun.
That I had to kill. They were flooding the screen.
Flying creatures are usually pretty easy to kill, though. When something's flying, those are usually pretty easy.
Oh my god. It's like the bats. They're like the bats in Castlevania. They're impossible. You miss them constantly. And you just have your short little sword that's just trying to whack at everything.
Just poking.
So that's part of the combat of the game is actually really engaging, and it's like Dark Souls because you're rolling. In order to minimize your damage, you're rolling.
Roguelike. Metroidvania.
That's all of the wrong words, but it does them so right.
Sounds like a Steam word salad.
Oh my god.
Shake it up. Early access. Indie developed.
It is an early access game too.
I know what Dead Cells is. I just haven't played it yet. It has every buzzword attached to it that you want.
It does, and
or don't want.
Still, again, it feels great. Well, it's just like the fucking.
It's got the perfect mixture of buzzwords.
I didn't even know that this was coming out, but that Mummy Demastered game. That's basically like a Contravania type thing. And I was like, man, this is the movie game. The movie game is going to be a fucking Metroidvania game because it's like the easiest thing to do.
I guess it's better than the movie too. Well, it's comparing apples and sausages, but
apples and sausages. I'm fine with living in a world where if the game that they use to promote a new movie is a fucking pixel art extravaganza and it's really good and it's fun to play. I think
it came out on Switch. I should pick it up.
I mean, fuck. That's like these games, these pixel art games. They don't bother me. I know they bother so many people, but
they don't bother me either. To be fair,
it's just a good game.
Yeah.
A good game is a good game. It's always going to be that way. It doesn't matter how it's made, and in fact, obviously one of the greatest, highest reviewed, most critically acclaimed games of like last year or this year, maybe it was this year, was Undertale.
That came out like 5 years ago, Brent.
Did it really?
Yeah. It just came out on PS4 this year.
Listen, their asses are still talking about it at the fucking Paris conference, so...
It's because it just came out on PS4.
Well, whatever.
It's been out on PC for fucking ever.
It's the darling of the indie world. It's always has been. And
the success
because it's got a great story. And that's what some people want. When you play it, it leaves you with something... and that's all you can hope for. It was done in Game Maker 5 or whatever. Like there was nothing to that. It was just it was a guy who had a great story and it was very smart. Oh yeah, it's gonna be great. You're gonna love it. Full 60 frames per second, fucking upsampled loading of tiny little sprites and textures. So it proves that everybody gets all cynical when it comes to these pixel art and throwback games, and it's the easiest type of game to make, but it may be the easiest type of game to make.
If it's true pixel art, it's not the easiest type of game to make.
Right, if you're making something like Owlboy, that's a hard-ass game to make. Based on what's your environments and everything. I mean, if you're... nothing in there looks easy to make.
Yeah. It's meticulously drawn.
Oh my god, your fezzes and your fucking and your hyperlight drifters and all of those like very stylistically beautiful games. That's not easy. I mean, even Symphony of the Night, that's a 3D accelerated pixel art game that at a time where pixels were still in use.
Well, they weren't in vogue.
That's
when everyone was just
starting to move out.
It came out for the PlayStation. Everyone was doing 3D polygon.
How can we make a big blocky polygon game and then
look at Cloud Strife? It's like a polygon square with some polygon triangles coming out of the top of his head. He's got a big old polygon sword.
And
then Castlevania comes out and they're like, pixel art. Also, this coffin
was like, we're not going to do 3D. It this way. Yeah. But that's the thing, is that even those sequences, they were so well done because they fit into a world and they didn't try to like make them some insanity. Even the FMV sequence sucked at the beginning of the game, but then when you started playing it, it was like, wow, this is great.
It's because it's still in the... It's not like they didn't add... Those 3D parts weren't added, like, separate from the art style. It was just the art style, like the art style, but also extra dimensions on this art style that
That's what makes it for me.
You know this art style to be flat, but we're giving you an extra dimension that makes it gives it a pop.
I love that. I think the backgrounds in Castlevania are unreal. Like, I just, it's the fucking perfect game, man. The Castlevania podcast. Eventually somebody will make a pixel art Resident Evil, and then my whole world will just fucking flip upside down, and I won't know what to do. Somebody's gonna make some like Bionic Commando rearm style Resident Evil shooter, and I'm just gonna shit my pants.
I'm sure it'll be great.
Or Strider, it's gonna look like Strider.
Just like all the other Resident Evil offshoots.
Ooh, yeah. Operation Raccoon City. What a great game, dude.
Hey, Revelations was good.
Revelations was good, dude. I never even played that game. I told you the other day that it came out of my fucking Humble Bundle. I still have it. I can play it for anything.
You should download it and play it.
Yeah, you know what? I'll write it down.
Revelations.
I think I have... What the hell do I have? I think I have, like, Episode 1, Penal Colony.
Episode 1?
Yeah, I think it came out in episodes.
Did it?
The first Revelations did. I think Revelations 2 was one complete game, but I think the original Revelations was like 2 episodes or something like that. Yeah, I'll have to... I made a note. I'm gonna check out those games. Um, so this was something that was left over. If you want, we can end on this. I don't know how you want to do it, but this was left over from last week. Was the best concert experience and the best concert, if you recall, or maybe it was a week before that. I don't really know.
Oh yeah, I think I cut it out somewhere. Of the last one.
That's cool. We talked about it during the break on the last one. That's probably why you cut it out, or we did it right before or after something. But I just had it on my mind the other day because it was because I was talking about the Chester Bennington benefit concert, or whatever. And I just wanted to I wanted to see if we could fondly or reminisce about our concert going experiences, or at least maybe in essence think about because there was two categories. If you remember, there was just the ones that we've been to, and then there's ones that maybe we've seen, or which is kind of has less impact, less importance, like ones that you've just seen like on TV or on YouTube or whatever. But there's a few. I mean, there's a few like really great fucking concerts that you'll never be able to see again because it's either like a once in a lifetime thing or whatever. There's a lot of those.
Woodstock, if you will.
Yeah, exactly.
Woodstock 97.
I was thinking the other,
Woodstock 97. The burning of Rome.
Yeah, forever. After Griffith shut down, it's just like, yep, we're done now. Rome is completed. Everybody move somewhere else. I was thinking about Skrillex the other day. Skrillex at Mysteryland. Because I don't think there's many other. I mean, there's other ones. I mean, there's ones that are way up there, but I don't think there's very many experiences that measure up to that. Like, it felt like that felt like a show that to me, the audience member, felt like it had been in development for 10 years because of everything else that we had seen. Like going to the Center of Progress building and seeing him for the first time, and sort of like seeing what he was then. In
like 2008, I think it was.
I mean,
somewhere around there.
And no, yeah, it was somewhere there. And then coming to Mysteryland, and that's when you got to see him be. It felt fully realized. He was at the peak of his powers. In terms of show construction and to me, it doesn't matter if that's an Ableton show. That doesn't matter if it's a press play show, because it just had so much that he kept hitting you with everything. It was like an hour and a half remix or an hour and a half mashup. Like the whole thing, he just did not give you a second. I just never seen a show like that, where, because bands have breaks, they play slow songs, they do different things, there's an ebb and flow to it, and they've constructed a set list that they believe will be, but literally the purpose of his set list was to not stop for an hour and a half. The pace did not stop. It just went whoop, 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 waves. Just kept fucking going.
A nice sine wave.
It's just I think about how many shows have I seen that are like that. The number isn't as big as you'd think, where at the end you just fully cannot believe what you've witnessed.
Well, 30 Seconds to Mars.
Yeah, and that's another one that's right in the whole thing. Like, because again, this is another band where they're at the peak of their power. Like when Becky went to see them
tour.
It
was the This Is War tour.
That whole tour, of course, being one of the longest tours in American touring history, or maybe the longest, I think it was, according to the Guinness Book of World Records. Becky went to that show that was at the somewhere in Brooklyn. And
the church?
No, that was the one before that.
Oh, okay.
They went to the show that broke the record.
Oh, okay.
So the guy from Guinness Book of World Records was there. In the middle of the show, he brought him out on stage and he said, "This is the 290th day of the tour or whatever. So this makes this the longest consecutive U.S. tour in American history."
Mm-hmm.
And she said that the show was horrendously bad. And in no way, and it's really because there is no artist on earth that should be subjected to the longest tour in American history. There's been some long tours, but you're doing yourself a disservice if you take part in the longest tour in American history.
Especially when you can barely sing the songs live to begin with.
He's one of those guys that's like, and it's kind of profound that you find yourself thinking about the artists that you've seen live versus the ones on the record. And there are fewer and fewer artists that are going out there on the road and singing the songs the same way every night with no issue unless they're sick. Like, Hayley Williams is one that always comes in my mind. Hayley Williams from Paramore. When you go out to see her at a show, you're going to hear the songs off the record. They're going to sound exactly like they're supposed to.
Okay, perfect.
He takes a vocal coach with her on the road every single tour.
I've seen them live. I can attest to that. They sound just like the record.
Oh, it's too... And then, of course, like, these people are the true technicians. The thing is though, that, like, someone like Jared Leto can go into the studio, record this record at the because that's the nature of a record. You're going to come in, like, one day you're going to wake up and you're going to be like, "Oh, bitch, I can sing like a motherfucker today." Like, I'm something's going on.
And
then he's going to walk into the fucking studio and he's going to destroy.
You could sing to begin with, and you take like a year or 2 years to record an album. There's going to be a day where you sound real good.
Oh,
there's also going to be a day that you sound like garbage.
A great example of this is when they were recording Minutes to Midnight for Linkin Park, and there's a video of where they were during the sessions of Waiting for the End. And of course, on the song Waiting for the End, as you wait for the end of the song, you're going to hear a fucking note that it's like years in the making for this band. He's in the booth and Mike is on the outside. He's like, "We gotta do, can we do something at the end for the last, before the refrain, like before I come in with the, this is not the end, this is another beginning." He's like, "I want you to go over the top and I want you to go as nuts as you can, like do the craziest note that you can possibly get to." And like, he starts pressing record, the song comes through, he's got the headphones, and he belts it out, and he's like, "That's it. We've been waiting for that the whole record. That's the note." He's like, "We're not going to do another one. That's it." And he prints it. That's the note you hear on the record, where he's like, "I'm only going to do what I have it." Ah! It's like, wow, dude. His register is off the chart. So with somebody like Jared Leto, it's like that dude's going to be able to come in one day and he's like, "Yeah, I think we should probably try to lay down Kings and Queens today. I'm going to be able to do that last note." That's going to sound great.
Just today, though. At this one point in time, I'll have the audience sing it next time I...
That's where a lot of artists are probably thinking it. Well, and then the exact polar opposite of a Jared Leto is Dave Grohl. He purposely, when he has recorded, maybe the past, really every Foo Fighters record, even though he has a lot of yelling and screaming in the music, there's a lot of fry and there's a lot of stuff like that somewhere.
Yeah.
He records most of the shit from his couch in his garage. He sits there with the microphone. He records all the vocals on the record, and there's a purpose in that, because it's the same thing as Bruce Dickinson saying that he used to sing the entire set out in the parking lot of the venue while rollerblading. It makes it so that when you come down to active level...
Of course he did. Why wouldn't Bruce Dickinson?
That's one of my favorite stories ever. It's one of my favorite like inside rock type of stories where it's like the reason why Bruce Dickinson is able to run around on stage and sing The Trooper is because he would rollerblade in the parking lot before the show and sing the entire set to himself with the headphones on so that he knew he could do it. It's kind of like the hyperbolic time chamber of music. If you know you can do it while sitting down, you know you can play it on stage. If you know you can do it while rollerblading in the parking lot, you know you can play it on stage. With Jared Leto,
my favorite Iron Maiden album, Bruce Dickinson doesn't even sing on. It sucks.
Well, yeah, that's always you. You were always that one guy in the world.
Well, I'm not
that likes the Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, dude, that song is so good. That is the best Iron Maiden song. It's one of the greatest songs ever written. Oh my God, from beginning to end.
They are good songs.
But that album is that's my favorite album by them. I'm not saying there's not good songs by them. I'm not like, oh, I like the original singer. It just so happens that.
What was his name? Paul Denis?
I don't remember.
Paul something.
I think that's the only album he's on, isn't it? This is the first one. The only album that he's on is the first one.
Oh, yeah. Right? Well, before that, he was in Saxon with... no, he wasn't. Bruce Dickinson was in Saxon, and then he was in a punk band. And then that was why he had the kind of voice that he had. His voice is a very punk voice. It's a very operatic type of thing.
Still gets, up there, though.
Oh, no, he was a very good vocalist, but he did kind of sound more UK punk or UK type of guy, and Bruce Dickinson sounded like an opera singer or Rob Halford or like anything like that. He had or Dio. It's kind of weird that all those guys kind of sound similar.
Well, I mean that was that time of that stadium metal.
Yeah.
You could almost call it that just because it was like speed stadium metal.
Howard Jones sounds like those guys. Like he's got like that colossal vibrato in his voice that's why they did that cover of Holy Diver. That stands as one of the greatest metal covers in my mind because of the fact that his voice carries that weight I mean, not many people have that type of voice like
in a genre where the chugging of the guitars usually takes the forefront. The kick of the bass, of the drum is so in your face. He somehow comes over the top of all of these things that should be working against him, where he's basically a background to this this power, and then he just comes over the top with this booming voice. I had no idea that he was in the Devil You Know or whatever that band was called.
Yeah.
And someone I work with just gave me the CD. He's like, this isn't... Someone gave this to me. It's not my style. You might like it. And I had no clue that he had come back because I knew he stopped doing metal.
He stopped with Killswitch Engage, and then they got Jesse back for a while.
So I put the Devil You Know album in, and it's the screaming, and then all of a sudden you hear the voice, and I was like, I didn't know Howard Jones was back. Doesn't sound like
it's crazy.
No, it wasn't like, man, this sounds like Howard Jones. I was like, I didn't know he came back because this is him singing. I know this is Howard Jones. There's no question about who is belting this out right now. And also going back to your original topic on the thing, is that concert, the one concert video they did one of the best concert videos.
Set the World Ablaze.
Was that what it is?
I think it's set the world. I think that because that was one of their songs. I think that was the was the CD that was like 08 or 09 or something like that when that came out, or 07.
And that one stands on a level with the Bullet for My Valentine live in
Brixton,
I think it is, or something.
I think it is Brixton.
Yeah.
Those shows are some of one of the best metal DVDs to watch from beginning to end.
Because when they came out, you don't really see concert DVDs anymore.
That's also a really good point too.
And when those came out, you didn't see them at that point either.
Right. That's the thing, is that concert DVDs have been one of those things that if you were in the FYE generation, or like when it was actually prominent, that's where you got most of your concert DVDs. But
Yeah, they
you
used to.
really had to seek them out, and nobody was telling. I mean, because they're not distributed like movies are.
Yeah, usually they're in a an FYE or something. They'll be in the same row you see the CDs. There'll be a DVD popped out if there was a
Right.
DVD. If they had a concert DVD, and even Best Buy, you walk into Best Buy and it's rows and rows of CDs, and then the last right next to the Z's is like one bookshelf of just concert DVDs, and that's all they have. And they're by the CDs. They're not in the DVD. It's not like its own DVD section.
Like the other thing about it is the kind of shit that you see on YouTube for concerts sucks still, because it's just people recording it with their fucking phones. So
Yeah.
it's like nothing replaced the concert DVD. Nothing. Like Quello is like an online streaming service for this type of thing.
Uh-huh.
But most of the things that are on there are still the shit that you would probably get on DVDs. And I don't know if they're producing original concert, like, if they're actually bringing crews out to concerts and actually recording them and using that as like a distribution model. But, like if you want to watch, some of the greatest ones, like R20 is unreal.
I was just thinking I thought it was R30.
R30, yeah, no, maybe that's what it was. R30. It was the 30th anniversary. Yeah, R30 is fucking amazing.
Song remains the same. Like that's a classic. The song remains the same.
Yeah. Yep.
Classic.
The Who one. There was one. The Who
U2
one that was
360.
Awesome. U2 360 is amazing. I think those are the ones like that. I think the one that I would love a DVD of that I actually went to would be Foo Fighters at Madison Square Garden.
Well, I know the Foo Fighters did live at Wembley.
Wembley.
Jesus
Wembley.
Christ.
Wembley. Woo.
Put them together, and what do you got? Wembley, woo.
Them live at Wembley. That's on the on the Foo Fighters documentary, Back and Forth.
Okay.
Did a little bit of footage from that.
On DVD?
Huh?
Like some of these like concert DVDs that they don't even come out anymore. Like I don't know. Is there like a box copy of Foo Fighters live at Wembley? Oh my God! Wembley?
I have no idea. All I know is that when I saw the Back and Forth documentary, the footage that they took of them at Wembley looked like it was full production quality footage. So I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't take that from the DVD.
It was put out on Palladium.
That's another thing, actually, that I didn't even think of.
So I don't know.
TV and Palladium.
Yeah, I don't know that these things get released or if they partner with Palladium to just record them.
I don't know. I have no idea. The
other thing is, there's very seldom a band that comes out can even hold or even give a reason for a whole DVD.
The most recent one that I found that I really gravitated towards because the whole show I thought was great, or that at least it was enough for me to hold my attention, was the 1975 when they did the show. I believe also at Wembley. They sold it out, which for a band as recent and as not so prominent yet is a feat in and of itself. They have a 2-album catalog. That's it.
These concert DVDs turn into almost a greatest hits album when you buy them. Like, I guess maybe Katy Perry could, but like her concert DVD was more of a documentary.
I like those a lot. I feel
those
like
are, those are
that
good. But
that format to me is really
that's a
great.
better form, like a better like replacement for the concert DVD is more of a documentary where they interlace the actual songs. Was the Lady Gaga one like that too? Not the recent one. I didn't watch the recent one. The one they just put on Netflix.
The one before the most recent one. The most recent one was almost strictly documentary, and it was about the lead up to her Super Bowl halftime performance.
Okay.
And they didn't even show the Super Bowl halftime performance because they didn't have the rights.
I wonder
why. Well, yeah.
The NFL not giving away any of their content. Big surprise there.
That was a good movie. The only thing that kind of
she had the other one, the Born This Way one, right? One that came out around the Born. That was a strict concert DVD
with stuff in there. That was like she was doing Part of Me. It was like Part of Me, the Katy Perry thing, and then there was Lady Gaga was like, I'm gonna do that too. That was the same.
Well, she did it first. Part of Me came out not too long ago.
Oh, Lady Gaga did it first, and then Part of Me.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Gaga one's like older than Part of Me.
She still, to me, the way that she. Well, what's funny is that this most recent documentary about her is her stripping down her image.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting concept to think about because when you created your so this is a good example. If somebody like Slash was like, you know what, I'm gonna chop it all off and take off the top hat, and I'm gonna start playing Jacksons, and I'm gonna start wearing I'm not gonna wear sunglasses anymore. He's just not him anymore, and that's what it is. It's kind of almost the same thing with Lady Gaga, only.
It seemed to be that the only reason she did that was to become big. You know what I mean?
100%.
Which is
100%.
probably what every pop star is. It's just an image that you have to put on to become that big. Like no one's just Joe Schmo down at the fucking grocery shop at the self-checkout trying to weigh some organic bananas, but he put in the regular bananas. No one's gonna want to watch him fucking rise through the ranks and become this giant rock star if he's just got his plaid shirt and Dockers hiked up to his belly button. But he's been playing the guitar all his life, and he can like jam out a sweet jazz bar or whatever the fuck. You don't want to see that.
You've created quite a backstory for that guy. I appreciate that.
I fucking hate that guy. So they put on this image, but once you're big enough, you can strip away this image, and you still have your name.
Oh yeah.
You get the name attached to it, which is like I could see why she would want to strip away this image. Like you can only put a mask on for so long before it starts to deteriorate.
And it did during that movie. She was she even addressed the feud with Madonna, well, not the feud with Madonna, but really the ongoing idea that she stole everything from Madonna. And she's not wrong. I mean, and she addresses the fact that there's reference everywhere. There's no new ideas. I mean, we talked about that a million times, but with her, I feel like there are no new ideas, but there's always somebody to do something better. And I think she had a better career than Madonna ever had. In terms of being able to express herself.
Some of those songs slap. You put that Fame album in? Ooh.
Oh my God. It's yes. And part of it is where the foundation is, because why is a song so great if it's just something that any producer could do, any Timberland or anybody could do? It's because what's underlying it is someone's fundamental knowledge of how to write the song.
Yeah. Not
necessarily how to produce it. Because somebody like Andrew WK, who's a classically trained pianist, can put out one of the greatest hard rock songs to ever exist. Because at first he played it on piano. All of it.
And then turned it to this like 4-chord chug-a-thon.
Fucking powerhouse of a track. And it's like the same thing with Lady Gaga. She first understands that her creative expression is what people are going to want to hear, but also at the same time, she also knows that for people to find that the most accessible, it's got to have the 4 chords. and it's got to have that fucking slapping ass bass. It's got to be there. It's all got to be there. And the simplest solution is the most elegant. I mean, like, they were saying that the Born This Way sounded like Vogue. Or no, not Vogue. Express Yourself. What the hell's the name of that song? Express Yourself? Is that the name of that song?
I don't know. I barely listen to any
Madonna. Madonna's innovative. The fact of the matter is she laid the foundation for somebody like Lady Gaga to exist. But the problem is that you can't be pissed off if somebody's going to do it better than you. I mean, what kind of world are we living in where somebody's like, well, he just stole that from me? It's like, no. You just stole that from whatever vaudevillian thing that happened before you, and that vaudevillian thing stole from it. Everything steals from each other. Yeah. It's a natural progression.
What's the line? True artists create.
Oh, that's Picasso. True artist.
Real artists.
Good artists. Good artists.
Good artists create. True artists.
True artists steal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Good recognizes good, and
real
recognize real.
We'll leave you with that.
I'm gonna leave you with that.
Real recognize real.
Real recognize real. Remember, sometimes you can't be Lady Gaga. Sometimes you're just Madonna. So, if you want to listen to our incoherent ramblings about our experience with music and how little we still don't know about it, the audio versions of this podcast are available below the video. And
take them with you on the bus while you're playing your Super Mario Odyssey.
Please take me with you. Please put me into your life. Please bring my voice into
your tiny computer in your pocket.
I'm telling you right now, whoever this is, when you're listening, I'm just telling you that you're great. I love you, and you're so special, and you're a great person, and you deserve everything. So, with that being said,
well, not everything.
You deserve just the minimum amount, which is listening to this podcast.
Even that, you're doing yourself a disservice.
You're just getting a little dumber every time you listen to it.
Two more clicks and you can find something way more interesting than this.
Oh, yeah, but why would you? Oh, you gotta.
You gotta.
That was the Jack It Off Podcast, episode 21. I'm out.